Hello, true duelists. My name's Craig Fee, and welcome to the New Card Report. In an unprecedented move from Konami, they've given me a chance to make a new card report this month for something that isn't about cards from Phantom Nightmare. Yes, the OCG's Terminal World set has revealed 4 new cards for Genex, as well as the art for the pack, hinting at what is almost certainly going to be Ritual Beast support in the future. But more importantly than that, I now have something to put on the screen when talking about this set, which is great for me and me alone. Now on to Konami's attempt to possibly make what is the worst archetype in the game more playable. Let's see how that goes. Starting strong with a level 10 Synchro, just like they did for Ice Barrier, we have Arms of Genex Return 0. This has 3100 attack, 2950 defense, and will need a Dark Tuner and 1 or more non-tuners to Synchro Summon. Its effect activates when the opponent activates a monster effect to banish a monster from your grave with the same attribute as their monster effect that was activated to negate and destroy it. This effect isn't once per turn, but you can't banish the same attribute twice. It also has a very nice recovery effect of sorts to target up to 6 of your Genex monsters with different attributes in your grave and or banish pile, shuffle them into the deck, and then destroy up to that many cards in the Spell and Trap zone, which is interesting wording to me. How many cards can be placed into the Spell and Trap zone that aren't Spell and Traps? Like, even Centurion or Snake Eye or Crystal Beast or the like place their monsters as spell or trap cards. A pendulum scale is also a pendulum, like it's a spell at that point, so it's just weird for me that they would destroy that many cards in this, but whatever, it's neat. This is a solid enough card at large though. Genex gets some spell and trap removal as a bonus, but more than anything, this is a very generic level 10, and as long as you have Dark Tuners, it's, you know, generic. It's also a very interesting take on negates because it's like access code. It gets 1 negate per attribute. So you can't banish 2 dark monster effects in 1 turn with it. You can only get 1, which kind of incentivizes diversity of attributes. It's interesting. It's definitely more tolerable than a generic Baron, although it does compete with the generic Baron, which it very much competes with. But hey, it's not bad, and it doesn't really fix what Genex does. The issue was not their boss monsters nearly as much as it was every single thing about the main deck, but why not? It's like new Ally of Justice Decisive armor. Why is it that? We'll never know. Instead, we'll move on to the Link 1. Because yes, they also have a Link 1, but it sadly does not search the field spell. Instead, it makes the deck potentially insane and provides the opponent with the easiest targeted choke point for a deck possibly ever. Repaired Genex Controller is a Dark Machine Link 1 with 1200 attack and an arrow pointing left that will need any level 4 or lower Genex monster as link material. It can only be special summoned once per turn, and on link summon it can add a Genex monster from your graveyard back to your hand. Oh, and once per chain, if a Genex monster is added to your hand, you can immediately normal summon a Genex monster. The catch is that if you use this effect, you're locked into only summoning Synchro monsters from the extra deck, and they have to be made using Genex tuners for their Synchro summon. Holy fuck, dude. Now, I can't blame anyone for not knowing Genex cards broadly, but actually I can because I'm getting this video out a little late and we all know about it. They've got 4 Stratos monsters that all search each other. The 3 searches like the 2, and the 2 searches the 1, and the 1 searches the 4, and something to that effect. It's just a whole bunch of Stratoses and none of them have once per turns. It is absurd. And this card gets itself going because it recovers a Genex from grave to hand on summon that you use to summon it that can be immediately summoned, and if it's one of those 12 Stratoses you can play, it gets it all going again. This is the stupidest card, although it's Genex, right? Like, it's very strange to see something like a Joshua Schmidt video talking about how crazy and stupid and awful and broken this deck could potentially be when the deck in question is Genex. That is an absurd statement. The Synchro Lock is something of note. It's also, fucking necessary when you have endless normal summons that search more endless normal summons, but it's not unbearably, we've seen the end boards, people spitting out Barons and, the level 10 that we just got, and also like Tenyi and some others. There's nonsense. There's just a lot of nonsense that you can still do with these cards, and it's completely absurd. This is the level of stupid that we need to make Genex playable, but it's also the level of stupid that makes me look at it and go, my god, do we really need another one of these decks in Yu-Gi-Oh? The answer is apparently yes, and this time round it's fucking Genex. Oh, what darkest timeline shit, folks. I hate to say it. Our Genex Undine is up next. As a Mermail player, I'm pretty hyped for an upgrade on an old friend of a card, though I suspect this one won't have a role in my pet deck whatsoever. And I'm right. This level 4 Water Aqua has 1700 attack and 1100 defense, and can banish a Genex monster from your grave to become the attribute of that banished Genex, and if you banished a tuner, it will also become a tuner. It also has an effect in the grave while you control a Genex Synchro monster to target 2 Genex cards in your grave, including itself, and add them both to your hand. And after you use that effect, all cards sent to the grave for the rest of the turn will be banished for you only. It's a macro effect on you. Notable for this card and every card today is, of course, the lack of once per turns. The Genex tried and true, it seems. It's a pretty solid card, all things considered. It can attribute manipulate to get you access to not just the new level 10 synchro, but all the Genex synchros with their attribute needs, maybe. I'm not going to pretend I've read those things. Most of them aren't good. Everyone just hypes up Locomotive for a reason I'll get to in a little bit. But it does add cards to your hand with that second effect, which of course triggers the Link 1. My god. I cannot believe I'm reading Genex cards with any amount of praise in my voice. That is some fucked up shit, to say nothing of the sort. Well, we've got one more to go, so is Genex swinging 4 for 4 with the support? And do they even need to, because that Link 1 kinda... Our Genex Turing is a Dark Spellcaster level 2 tuner with 600 attack and defense. And stop the fucking presses, this one has a hard once per turn. My god. What Genex effect could possibly warrant the once per turn clause? Apparently the one that allows this, a quick effect summon itself from your hand on the opponent's turn, and then immediately synchro summon a Genex Synchro monster. You will need to control a Genex monster to use this effect, so it's not completely buck wild, but I guess, yeah, I suppose that's about as fair an effect to put on a once per turn clause, right? It does also have the effect that when it's used as a synchro material for a Genex Synchro monster, it can be treated as either level 1 or 3, so depending on whatever level you need for whatever. And it's just the snatch steal. It's Locomotive. That's all. That's the only thing this deck has to its name that involves this card. It's a dark tuner like Locomotive needs, and it's a Genex, and there you go. So this one's not bad. Like, this is not a bad card, but the things it summons out are bad minus Locomotive. So it's like, well, okay, yeah, we can end with that. And back onto the things people care about, the Link 1. What the fuck? It's like 4 solid cards for Genex and like a real sense of hype in the community behind it. That's the weirder thing. Hype for Genex. Is Ashton Kutcher inside of my home? Am I being punked? Nope. Chuck Testa. Oh, I'm sorry, that reads nope, just Konami. My apologies. I will say, the ability for Konami to quote-unquote fix this deck with just a Link 1 is like hilarious and frightening all in one, you know what I mean? It's not like actually scary, but it's just, this is such a custom card of custom cards that, like, they can do this. It exists, they can do this, and hypothetically they could do it for another deck. We just, you know, praise them that they have the sense not to, because it's only something as stupid as Genex that would be quote-unquote deserving. I mean, without the Link 1, it's absolutely nothing. The 3 cards around it are fine, but they're not anything to write home about, and that Link 1 is the biggest imperm target ever, as I said. We've got some tuner access that I don't even think people are really playing it. It's all about those Endless Stratoses and our new Undine friend. Undine, get it? Sick. And the most Genexed deck thing, like that's how you have to fix it. And you imperm it, and then you just have 12 hard normal summon Stratoses, and you look at your hand and you're like, wow, I guess I lose. It's insane. This is insane. I'd like it if the TCG just called it our Genex Massive Target. That's what the script actually says at that point, so haha, really fucking funny, me. And that's about it. Am I excited for this deck to come into play? Not really. I'm getting kind of sick of the, you know, Which, don't get me wrong, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm just saying, like, this is such a going first build-a-board deck, and then you play this going second, and how the fuck are your 12 Stratos gonna play around anything? They're not. This deck is entirely and exclusively about going first. And I'm just kind of like, we have that. If I want to do dumb, stupid synchro combos, I'll just play Adamantipator, right? I don't know. It's interesting, but it seems very much 2020 almost-esque Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm like, give us more, I don't know, Tearlament-esque things where it's disruption, not negates, you know? You know? I don't know. Fuck it. On to the sponsor. Oh, can't even speak. On to the sponsor. And speaking of generic segues into the sponsor, thanks as always to the LIFD Magnetic Display, the sponsor of choice for my channel, and of course the true duelist approved way to both help me financially and get some cool cards. Put them on display, make it a day. I always rhyme in these things and I don't know why. My promo code is YGOstrats15. I'd appreciate it. It looks cool. I keep it on my desk, and I'm getting me the second one to put on like my actual desk where I do my editings, because I got a fancy Charizard card I can put in here or something, right? I don't know. I got a fucking Yu-Gi-Oh card or two in here somewhere. That's what's up. So shout outs to them for the sponsor, and shout out to you for watching. That's it. That's the new card report. It's on the Genex stuff we already know about, but it's fucking crazy, and I want to talk about it too. So there you go. Subscribe if you'd like. Immediately become a true duelist. Immediately impress your smoking Italian wife. And sometimes I'll reach down here and pull out something the audience loves. It's duct tape. It's just duct tape today. Where'd the gun go? That's it.